More signs pointing to Russell Wilson leaving Denver, plus a pretty cool dad moment for the QB. Also, we found out who Larry Bird's favorite team to watch is. Welcome to your Denver Sports Daily for February 20th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Vigil.
Russell Wilson brought Future to get some shooting lessons from Steph Curry. You can watch the video right here, as it's honestly really interesting to be able to see. First of all, you'll see Russell Wilson in the white jumpsuit back behind there with the sunglasses on, his new shaved head. He's actually going to get in trouble with the security guard trying to get it, but it is so cool that Steph Curry took the time to be able to really help Future be able to get his arm positioning right and everything. Here you see Russ is about to get in trouble. They're like, back up, sir, you need to move. I think it really funny. And then he ends up just leaving because he's like, all right, lady, I'm done with you. But I think that's such a really cool moment. And I love that he is truthfully just like really taking in everything. Russell Wilson has not been like hiding with all of the drama happening here with the Denver Broncos or anything of that nature. And here's your other sign that the Denver Broncos will most likely be moving on from Russell Wilson. He's accepting offers and tours to buy his Cherry Hills house. He bought the house for $25 million. Everybody went crazy when he did it. We were like, okay, he's going to be here for so many years. It's the most expensive house ever sold in the Denver area. 4 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms. We also remember the guy that last season was keeping track of all the bathrooms compared to touchdowns that Russell Wilson did. Yes, one way or another, they bought the house in April of 2022. Everybody thought that they were going to be here for so long, but Russell Wilson is doing things his own way. And I find this to be actually very interesting. A lot of things with Russell Wilson are very calculated, let's be honest. And when he came out and said essentially that, the Broncos came at him with the contract stuff and told him that he was going to be benched, that was his team coming to his defense essentially to say, hey, this is what's happening. We didn't hear anything from the Broncos side. We're seeing the exact sort of thing now with Russell Wilson selling his house. He's not waiting for the Broncos to say, we're cutting you, we're moving on, whatever. He's saying, I already know this is going to happen, which means conversations have been had inside that facility. And he is saying, I'm going to control the narrative. It's happening. We're going to be moving on. We're selling our house here in Denver. I find it to be absolutely fascinating. Nikola Jokic, All-Star Weekend, obviously happening this weekend, was asked which player he would trust with his horses, and it took him approximately a minute to think things through, and then he finally answered Aaron Gordon. Take a listen. Oh, and here's some of the graphics, actually. Yeah, we can do these first. You have Aaron Gordon, who does like the happy face with the tear. So freaking cute. I love that. And then he honestly just kind of went on a tweeting rampage last night and said, I probably could have got second in this year's dunk contest, LOL. And then NBA Central, which is a very popular X or Twitter page, says Aaron Gordon doesn't understand why Denver only has one All-Star. And he responds about this. First, we could start by playing our own games on TV in our local market. And he says, if y'all think Jamal Murray 27, JM 27, not All-Star caliber, you're tweaking. I find that to be absolutely fascinating that AG is the one to finally put it out there and say, can we please get the local games on the market out here in Denver? And we also have Jamal, oh my goodness, one of these nuggets, Nikola Jokic speaking at All-Star Weekend, talking about why he would choose Aaron Gordon. Take a listen.
Current? I'm gonna say Aaron Gordon. Because he drives bike. And he was with my hometown, so he kind of saw how it happens, so how it looks. So I'm going to say him.
I just love Jokic so much. And if you did not watch the All-Star game on Sunday, the Eastern Conference beat the Western Conference 211 to 186 on Sunday night. Ridiculous numbers. Clearly no defense is played at all. The East put up the most points in the game's 73-year history. The previous high was 196 set by the West in 2016. The total points of 397 smashed the record of 374 set in 2017. The East also made 42 three-pointers to break the mark of 35 set by Team LeBron in 2019. All of this fascinating. If you like seeing your favorite players just kind of joke around on the court, have fun, do some crazy shots, then you would absolutely love the All-Star. Personally, I like to see a little bit of defense, so I'm not super intrigued on it. But again, funny interesting stuff to see your favorite players. And Jokic very much proved that he did not want to be there. He was honored to be there, but he did not want to be there. Larry Bird was on the NBA on TNT, and he spoke on who his favorite team to watch is. And Denver Nugget fans, you should definitely be happy. He says, I would love to play against Nikola Jokic. When the Warriors were healthy, they were really fun to watch. Now I switched over to Denver. Now, wouldn't he be fun to play with? I love that the GOAT Larry Bird is chiming in on how much fun it is to watch Nikola Jokic as well. Now, going back to the Broncos a little bit, after spending the last 2 years out of the league and the 2023 season out of football altogether, the former Broncos offensive coordinator, Rick Scangarello, has latched on with the Las Vegas Raiders as their quarterback coach. Scangarello has been serving as the personal coach for Caleb Williams, the quarterback who was expected to go number 1 overall in the NFL draft this April. Rich Scangarello lasted just 1 season as the Broncos offensive coordinator. The team hired him early in 2019 to serve under head coach Vic Fangio. Switching over to hockey. Avalanche got the 4-3 win over the Coyotes on Sunday evening. Jack Johnson, Nathan McKinnon, Ross Colton, and Devontae all were able to get pucks in the back of the net. Nathan freaking McKinnon, you guys, banged home another puck just 19 seconds later to extend it. And now he has extended his home point streak to 26. He surpasses Bobby Orr for the second longest streak in NHL history. And he now only trails the great Wayne Gretzky, who is 40. And will the McKinnon streak continue on tonight? The Avs will be taking on the Vancouver Canucks tonight at 7 p.m. at Ball Arena. The Canucks are actually a pretty solid team, so it should in fact be a good game. Make sure you tune into that one. Again, 7 p.m. Now, today is an important season for the NFL just in general. The franchise tag opens up today. It's the first big step in the NFL offseason where teams are free to use the franchise tag. Now, if you're expecting the Broncos to use the franchise tag, I hate to break it to you. The franchise tag really are for teams that have the luxury. And James Marlett and I are going to get into this on Coffee Break at 12 p.m. today, so make sure you come hang out with us for this. But teams can use the tag on a pending free agent to keep them on a 1-year deal that pays them the average of the top 5 salaries at their position. Candidates receive the tag this year that are kind of the top names out there. The Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins, Buck wide receiver Mike Evans, Panthers defensive end Brian Burns, and Chiefs cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. All of these names are some big ones out there. And teams have until the March 5th to use the tag. But again, I don't anticipate the Broncos to be franchise tagging anyone. They're already over on the cap, so it's going to be really hard. In previous seasons, we've seen like Justin Simmons, other guys like that, but do not expect the Broncos to really be making any moves. It's a luxury to be able to afford the luxury tag, just like it is a luxury to have a really good cornerback like Patrick Surtain. Will the Broncos stay with it? It's a great question. I'm not sure the answer to it. Now, if you are a Colorado State fan or an alum like myself right here, then you know Joe Parker is out as the athletic director at Colorado State. CSU President Amy Parsons announced the move Monday afternoon, saying that Parker will, quote unquote, step back from his role and become a special advisor to the president's office. CSU did not name a timeline for hiring a permanent athletic director. The Rams went 40-63 in football under 3 different head coaches during Parker's tenure. It obviously plays a big factor as football is such a money driver. They've had success with the basketball program, but you got to be able to win football games to stay hired. He was hired back in 2015, and he signed a 5-year extension in 2022 to carry through 2027. Now, I've talked so much about Caitlyn Clark, and on Thursday, she became the NCAA women's basketball all-time scoring leader. Within hours, she passed Shedeur Sanders to become Fanatics' top-selling NIL athlete, according to data provided to Front Sports offices. This is kind of crazy to think about. When was the last time you saw a female athlete pass up somebody who is in relation to Deion Sanders? It definitely does not happen very often. And for a female athlete to take over a male athlete, it's kind of crazy in what she's doing. Now, we have to have this talk, and we're going to have it later this week with Jake Shapiro on Coffee Break. But do you have to win championships to be considered great. We're going to see this because Jay Williams, somebody who's actually a good friend of the show, if you've been paying attention to Coffee Break for a really long time, he was on the show quite often. He says that you have to win championships to be considered great. Caitlyn Clark cannot be considered great yet because she has not won any championships. So we're going to have this conversation. And I feel like this kind of goes into Nikola Jokic a little bit of if Nikola Jokic had never won a championship, and luckily he did, and we all got to experience it. If he had never won a championship, could he still be considered great even though he's breaking records left and right, it feels like? It's going to be an interesting conversation. Definitely make sure you tune in later this week on Coffee Break. We're going to sit down with Jake Shapiro as well. So plenty of good stuff for your Denver Sports Daily. If you see any headlines that you're ever like, hey, Rachel, we need to be talking about this, let me know. Tag me on them on Twitter. My handle is at Hey Rachel Vigil. So definitely tag me over there. I always love to see different stories and see what you guys are paying attention to. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed your long 3-day weekend if you had the opportunity to be off yesterday. And we will see you guys at 12 p.m. for an episode of Coffee Break. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day.